Guess what? God don't even give you unconditional relationship. He didn't give it to you in the Old Testament. He said, if you come into the Holy of Holies, you better come correct or you will die in my presence. That was supposed to be in the Old Testament, like in the temple and stuff. You'll die in my presence, and they pull you out with a rope. Why? Because I love you. The sun shined on us just as well as unjust. But the relationship was, but you didn't come in here correctly. You didn't come in here with the right heart. The New Testament, if you're looking at the blood, now if anybody's in the Bible, they said the way to come correct, come through the blood, right? Blood of Jesus. You got to accept Jesus. That's the way to come to me. That's but otherwise, I love you, but I got boundaries. It's called heaven and hell. That's my boundaries. And it's not because I don't love you. You know what it is? It's because of who I am. My assignment on the earth. If I have children and I have a grandchildren, the child that I just told you, I am going to place myself in a position of toxicity, abuse, neglect, which will affect my physical, will affect my longevity of life, and living this world prematurely, sickly, because I co-regulated with someone who did not decide to heal himself. That's a tall price to pay.
Yeah, love. Good
and so
God.
We've got to understand what we are here for. So let me tell you something. As a certified man, if these men are showing up at your door and you are changing a whole generation of guys by challenging them, helping them work through their issues, and you are with somebody who is not listening, who does not respect you, and it's affecting you, all of a sudden now you on high blood pressure pills. Now you're stressed out. Now you getting your foot cut off. Now all of these different things. Why? Because of the external stress related abusive situations. So now we leave out of here early. Why? And you didn't understand your call. You didn't understand your call. You aborted the mission because you did not have the ability to say, hey, I love you, but this is affecting what I'm here for. You are affected. And at the point at which you can bring yourself to the point, and I don't have to even divorce you to separate myself from you.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying, I've never told one divorced person to leave, but I will tell you what the consequences of your staying is. There will be people who will stay and be abused. There will be people who will use a spiritual bypassing to be there. I was beat, I was this, but I was godly. And what father, loving father, would tell his daughter to stay and be beat by a man?
I don't
What
know what
loving mother would allow their son to be badgered and bullied without any type of intervention? What I'm saying to you is this. First of all, you won't be able to leave because of what somebody does. That'll never sustain you. Somebody do something wrong, cheat on you, whatever the case may be, talk badly about you. You will never be able to sustain that breakup because of what they did. You might go away for a season and you'll gravitate back. You know why? Because it's like a fire. It's raging, it's fire, but then it'll die down. You can only sustain a breakup, not because of who they are, but because of who you are. Once you discover who you are, and this is, I'm full circle now, back to the video. Once you discover who you are, you understand what you deserve. You understand your call. You understand there's not incongruence. You understand you. And I see you more clearly. I can have the patience for you, but I also have to place boundaries. That boundary is this. It could be, I'm still living in this house. We're going to still be married. I will not stand here and talk. And the language could be, I love you. I want to talk to you, but you can't talk to me that way. So we're going to end this right now and I'll come back later, or you show up and you can come talk to me when you're able to. practice self-control in that conversation. If that's never, and if you don't enforce that, it's just a wish list. That's not a boundary. You love yourself enough. You have enough recognition of your call, of where you're going and what you're trying to be, where you say, my love don't cover your abuse towards me. My love doesn't cover you hitting me.
Are we responsible for healing our wives?
Oh, you can't heal your wife, but you can be a part of supporting their healing process. You know what that question is like? It's like your wife having cancer, and you say, am I responsible for healing my wife? How can you don't have the skills to heal your wife's cancer. However, you are responsible for helping her through the transition. You know it's going to be painful. You know she may lose her hair. You know that she may need your support at the doctor's appointment. You know that the sex may not be the same. You know that she might be throwing up sometime. You might have to clean it up. There is a process towards the healing that you will support. However, you are not the doctor and you do not have the skills to heal your wife, whether it's mentally, whether it's physically, or even spiritually. You can pray for her. You can be supportive. You can do whatever you need to do. But you are not the healer. Understand your role, understand your boundaries, understand your limitations.
Even emotionally, what about emotionally? She came to you broken in certain ways. I think I don't even have to ask it because I think what I heard you say was, though you can't heal her or she can't heal him, what would you say about creating an atmosphere where healing is possible and even plausible?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
The way that healing is possible and plausible is through understanding and perfecting certain skills. One is forgiveness, patience, empathy, compassion. You understand? All of those different skills help to support an emotional experience of healing. Now, let me tell you something. You're like, oh, okay, she just listed some skills. However, we can't take that for granted. I will tell you why. Because if you don't even have the ability or have not perfected the skill to forgive your father or your mother for what they did in your childhood and how they hurt you, and you cut them off and they wanted to come back and you've held on to that and you've rehearsed it and this is your story and there's been no healing, you don't even possess the skills for the type of forgiveness you need in a marriage, a marathon marriage. 42 years, do you know how many times I have had to forgive and my husband has had to forgive me?
Countless.
Do you know how many times I've had to be patient and he's had to be patient with me? And so these are skills that you have to perfect in these relationships, but it doesn't start there. It starts from going back to forgive yourself. Sometimes you don't even have to have not perfected the skill to forgive yourself. So if you were sitting there in shame or in guilt, you are looking at her like, I know you see me and you won't forgive me. So you will treat her like you would never forgive you. No, you won't forgive yourself. And that is a way where people think, I know you don't like me. And they're like,
That's a tough one.
Mhm.
That's a tough one because
It is.
I mean, what do you do when wow, this is a real situation. I'm dealing with a real situation where a man he loves his wife, and I believe she loves him. But when you grow, sometimes you grow into another version of yourself.
You
And
do.
he is at the place where he's like, yo, I desperately love this woman, but she either is not willing or does not have the capacity to give this version of me what he needs. And he's stuck
So
saying,
good.
what do I do with that?
That is so good. I actually write a little bit about that in my first book. one of the things that I talk about is the waltz. The waltz of trauma, really. We've gotten into these bad patterns of, how we communicate and things like that. Now, I tell women a lot of times, in the same for men, when there's a trauma bond, you wonder why this person has cheated on you and does not want you. They were never attracted to this version of you. They were attracted to the unhealed version of you because it mirrored their unhealed version. When you heal, you know what it says to them? Abandonment.
Wow.
They experience abandonment.
Wow.
Because you all know that you're supposed to fight, you're supposed to get loud, you're going to call each other name, and then a few days go by, you're going to come back, you're going to have sex. It is a pattern of behavior.
Yeah.
You know how this dance goes. And then you go and decide, I'm not going to waltz again. I'm going to ballet or whatever. And so it's not the same. And so you've changed. You've left me. You've abandoned me.
Yeah.
And if I have abandonment in my history, I will feel the same pain, and I will lash out, and I will feel betrayed by you if you don't even cheat on me. I will still feel betrayed because you left me in my trauma to deal with it by myself. And you can't possibly love me in this state because I chose you as a codependent relationship, trauma based relationship. I chose you because you didn't know who you were and I didn't know who I was. So we were in it together being traumatized.
Wow.
Heal, and you have left me.
So
you've left me alone in this relationship.
So it's like you have to learn or be willing to learn the new versions of yourselves. And I don't know how you do that in proximity. How do you do that in proximity?
Well, I'm going to tell you something. 42 years in a marriage, you don't have to go and have major issues before you evolve into another person. When I buried my mother and my father, I had evolved. When my husband buried his mom and his dad, he had evolved. After childbirth, I had evolved into something else. I saw the world differently, where I didn't look at schools and I didn't look at what was necessary. I evolved. So guess what? For 42 years, once a week, we sit down and we date. And we sit at the table across from each other and we talk and we get to know the new version. And we, in the altars of our mind, we stand there again and make vows to the new person.